Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to cover some tips for getting started in Hollywood Animal. These tips should help you get off to a healthy start when beginning a new game and keep things rolling in the early stages. Now, I've been playing the game recently without using the introduction, but these strategies should work regardless of which start you choose. First tip, when your workers ask for vacation, always grant it. Their vacation requests directly impact their happiness and loyalty, and you need to keep these stats high throughout your playthrough to maximize the quality of your movies. As happiness decreases, the worker's ability to improve a movie also decreases, and loyalty becomes particularly important when re-signing talent to your studio. There will be periods during the game where vacation requests come fast and furious, but once you get through that and you get happiness on track, the requests tend to fall off and become a little less common. Most requests are either for 2 or 3 months, and sometimes you'll immediately see the happiness or loyalty increase, but sometimes you won't. And just remember, a happy workforce is a healthy workforce. Tip number 2 is to prioritize landscaping by your maintenance department. This should be the first task that you assign, and as soon as it's completed, you should go ahead and go to the maintenance building and select the level 2 landscaping. This has a huge impact on the happiness of your employees, and you want to keep your employees happy so that you can continue to create quality movies. Now, once the landscaping update is complete, I usually will do the repair crew research next, and I will use them to keep my buildings in top condition. Along those same lines, I always construct my buildings at maximum condition, even though it costs more and takes longer. There's a theory that you can build them at a lower condition and it'll save you some money because your repair crew can fix them for less than the difference, and that is true. However, building condition affects worker happiness, and it can cause real problems if their happiness dips too low. So for my playstyle, I found that it's definitely worth the extra money and time to build it 100% condition from the start. Tip number 3 is to be strategic with your executive management and your department heads. You should set up your initial research right off the bat because your executives tend to have pretty good bonuses, but then you should fire all of your executives. When you set up the research, it gets the bonus from the executives that were there, but those folks tend to have ridiculous salaries, and you could use that money better. These savings far outweigh the benefit of a few days that would be saved on future research projects by using the better bonus on the research. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to see who's available when you fire these folks, so you may have to make the best of a bad situation after you let them go. However, I've never really encountered a situation where cheaper executives weren't available. Related to this, I also get rid of expensive department heads at this point. I prioritize using cash to speed up projects over influence, and of course you want to maintain loyalty and happiness as best you can, but I have found that this technique tends to save me some money, and I end up with better heads that I'm wanting to work with anyway. Once again, you don't get to see who's available, so you could have to make lemonade out of lemons. You can even do this with your writing staff, your editors, and your composers. In those cases, you can often immediately hire the same person back at 50 to 60% of their original cost. Just make sure you have the appropriate buildings in place so that you can hire them back. My next tip number 4, is to go big on opening weekend. You should always try to have a very strong start at the box office. You should buy some extra screens, but you do need to be careful. You don't want to overbuy because there is diminishing returns at some point. But if you slow play a movie, you may not ever make up the difference in revenue that you could have captured if you had gone strong right out of the gate. You can try this out for yourself and try different strategies, and you'll need to figure out what works for you, for your advertising strategy, and for your game world. And the last tip I have for today, tip number 5, always invest in top talent. Always pay for top talent. Always. Use gifts and services to reduce their costs, but don't be intimidated by the large price tag that comes with the best people. Whenever you can lock up top-level worker, you should do it. Remember that actors, directors, cinematographers, and producers are paid on contract. So when you pay them, it comes out right away, and then that's it. If you sign them up for 3 years, you're done paying them for 3 years. Paying a 9-star actor $150,000 for a 3-year deal is a steal, especially if you can work them into several movies. Related to this, anytime you see an actor that has star quality or an artistic ability, you should grab them. Doesn't matter how many stars they are, they improve your numbers at the box office. Check your talent pools early and often, and always grab the best people when they're available, even if you don't need them right that moment. Now, early in the game, talented editors and composers can be very difficult to find, but a few years in, an event occurs that brings a rush of new talent. So if you haven't gotten that far, don't worry, help is coming. Get by with what you can in those early years. Emma Barry is usually the best editor available, and she's already on your staff. You can reduce her salary by firing and immediately rehiring her, but make sure you have the appropriate building to make that happen. I do the same with the composers. In fact, I often don't hire the second level composer back. I just stick with Lewis, and then I find somebody else that I'm going to try to bring up. And there's nothing wrong with holding on to lower level talented people and using them for appropriate movies at the time. You can build up their ability and increase their experience, and they potentially can get pretty good. And that does it for my top tips for Hollywood Animal. The game is in early access and it is changing. A new build is expected in the very near future that changes some of the mechanics of the game, and so some new tips might need to come out here in the near future. If you're interested in Hollywood Animal and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a comment. That helps me decide where people want to see more videos. And of course, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. Thank you for your time this time, and until next time, fair travels.